Well, as the city of Winnipeg a step closer to getting the Jets back, in basic terms, here's what's going on around the Coyotes. There's a growing rift between the mayor of Glendale and the government watchdog, the Goldwater Institute. The mayor is desperately trying to save a deal to sell the Coyotes to prospective owner Matthew Holsizer. But Goldwater is trying to protect taxpayers, saying if the government commits money to the Coyotes, they risk losing tens of millions of dollars. So the mood among hockey fans in Phoenix right now, not so good. The mood in Winnipeg, I would think pretty good. To talk more about that, Gary Lawless of the Winnipeg Free Press now joins us. And Gary, what is the mood in Winnipeg today, given the news out of Phoenix?
When the landing page on TSN.ca showed Shane Doan in a Jets jersey last night, and then later Dale Hawerchuk, my phone started blowing up. I was receiving texts from all over the city and all over the country. Winnipeggers right now are in the mood that they believe their team, the Winnipeg Jets, or whatever they're going to be called, is on the verge of returning to this city.
What about the skeptic who say this is yet another example of somebody crying wolf and just a way to negotiate their way back into Phoenix and more dollars there? Are you concerned about that at all?
No. Sources tell me that the NHL has basically at the position now, either the bonds sell or they don't. One way or another, this is done in a matter of days, not weeks. And Mayor Elaine Scruggs going to the public today in Phoenix and pleading and pointing the finger at the Goldwater Institute appeared to be the death rattle.
All right, the team didn't work in Winnipeg last time around. Tell us some of the major differences this time around that would make it a success there.
Well, they have a brand new arena, the MTS Center, and they have ownership, the combination of the Chipman family and the Thompson family. The Chipmans are a thriving Manitoba family. David Thompson, of course, is the richest man in Canada. They would instantly have one of the strongest ownership groups in the entire league.
Gary Lawless of the Winnipeg Free Press, we thank you for your time. All right, Darren, obviously they're very optimistic in Winnipeg.
Right.
Is that misplaced optimism? Or is it accurate?
Well, there's reason to be optimistic because the future does look bright for the National Hockey League at some point in the future, returning to the city of Winnipeg. And Gary hit the nail right on the head. There's a couple of steps that have to be put in place before it's reality. Phoenix or Atlanta are shifting to Winnipeg to become the Winnipeg Jets or whatever team in returning to the National Hockey League. Specific to the Phoenix situation, again, as Gary pointed out, there's going to be resolution to this issue. That resolution is expected to come as early as next week. That doesn't mean Winnipeg's going to learn next week that they're getting the Phoenix Coyotes, but the National Hockey League, Matt Holsizer, the City of Glendale, all involved in the sale of the Coyotes should have a defined resolution as early next week. And again, as Gary suggested, it'll either be the bonds are selling regardless of the interest rate, regardless of the pressure being put with the threat of the lawsuit instituted by Goldwater, or there is a complete sale of this team or Holsizer walks away. But one way or another, the expectation is that there should be conclusions specific to the sale of the Phoenix Coyotes as early as next week.
You wrote about this on the Dreger Report today, right? So if you want some more on this, check on tsn.ca and look for the Dreger Report. There'll be lots in there more for you. Now, so it's still way too early to say the Coyotes could go back to Winnipeg, but given the events of the last couple of days, they could be a little closer to that possibility than they were, which brings us to our Jets meter. Yes, could the NHL return to Winnipeg as early as next season? With franchise uncertainty in Phoenix and Atlanta, the possibility exists. The pendulum could swing either way, and this Jets meter represents our ongoing take on how close a long-term dream is reaching fruition.